I want to find four guys, multi-ethnic, who could be like the ultimate all-American comic book heroes come to life in pro wrestling. I want to dress them up in red, white, and blue and launch them into the world of pro wrestling on top immediately as Power Team USA. Now, as I learned later, and it took a while, the entire concept was ill-conceived on my part. I think, conceptually, the creative part of it was kind of cool. It was fun. But as I mentioned, I was clueless. I had no idea you could not take four totally green guys, package them together, and then put them into a promotion together and get a push with them together with you bringing the creative in. So it wasn't going to work. But I didn't know that. And I've always been, like my dogs, a bit of a pit bull. So I was determined to try to make it happen. I looked around, I found four guys, cast it back then as a all-American, like blonde hair, blue-eyed guy, a black, a American Indian, and an Italian American. And these days, you'd have an Asian American, you'd have a Latin American, of course. Back in 1985, it's going to sound really weird to say it, but you really couldn't find guys from those ethnicities that were bigger than 6 foot. It just was how it was back then. So I found these four guys, packaged them together, dressed them in red, white, and blue, shot photos, found Red Bastien, the legendary Red Bastien, bought a ring, rented a space in a racquetball court, started training camp. And you mentioned Angel of Death and Steve DeSalvo. They were the other two guys, apart from my four-man team, who were in the camp, trained by Red and by Billy Anderson, who I want to send a word of strength and hope to, because we all know Billy's struggling with some physical things now, like I am. Different stuff, but struggling nonetheless. So I put the group together, trained them, photographed them, outfitted them, housed them, rented a house in Reseda, California, that me and Mark Miller, the Italian member, and Garland Donahoe, the black member, and Jim Hellwig, the American Indian member, we all lived in together. Steve Borden, Sting, lived close by to where the training was, so he stayed in his own home. And I spent a lot of money in a short period of time. I had been promoting concerts very successfully up until that point. I was a nightclub owner. I had enough cash to fund this myself. Got it started, and the thing completely fell apart when Hellwig, the Ultimate Warrior, decided to, as we say, go into business for himself. If you really read the details of the Power Team legend, you'll hear at one point that Hellwig decided to take promotional photos and send them. There's no email back in those days. That he found the addresses for all the promoters and mailed it to them. Well, yeah, promotional photos were taken. They were mailed. Hellwig's part of the story. I don't know if he told that part or someone else did. That's not true. I actually was working my ass off on it so hard back then. I did the work to find the physical address for every promoter. My friend Brett Barony shot the photos on my dime. I had them printed myself. I bought the envelopes myself. I addressed them myself, and I mailed them myself. Red Bastien later heard that Jerry Jarrett was interested in Sting and Warrior. He told Warrior before he told me, and Warrior's like, let's just bail. So him and Sting took off. Sting was very apologetic. We're great friends today, and that's a whole nother part of the story we'll probably talk about.